$15,000 doesn't buy you a different life. It buys you a different posture in the same one. Nobody notices the number. You notice it every single day, the way you notice a sore tooth, not because it hurts, because it's there. This is what happens to the way people treat you, one quiet number at a time. Not all at once, not with an announcement. One small deniable adjustment after another, until one day you look up and the room is treating you like a different person, and nobody can point to the exact moment it started. 9 numbers, 9 thresholds, 9 rules. Nobody hands you on the way through because nobody wants to admit they're following them. Level 1, $15,000. You check the balance standing in a grocery store parking lot, engine running AC off to save gas. You don't tell anyone. You put the phone face down on the passenger seat like it's something you got caught doing. Your friends still vent about money in front of you freely. Overdraft fees, a late rent text. Can you spot me 20? You're one of them. Nothing about how they treat you has changed because nothing about you looks like it's changed. You still drive the same car with the same crack in the windshield. You still split the bill 4 ways and do the math out loud so nobody thinks you're being weird about it. Not pride, just relief. The kind that doesn't show on your face so nobody asks why you're smiling at a parking lot. You're not smiling because you're rich. You're smiling because for the first time a single bad week wouldn't end you. That feeling stays private for a reason there's nothing to point to. No new car, no new apartment. Just a number only you can see doing something to you that nobody around you would believe if you tried to describe it. The first rule at $15,000, nobody treats you differently. You treat yourself differently. That's the part nobody warns you about. Level 2, $75,000. A coworker mentions a financial emergency, half joking, half fishing. You used to laugh along. Now you go quiet for half a second too long before you laugh. They notice the pause. You both pretend they didn't. People stop asking if you're okay. Not because they checked, and you said yes, because they stopped checking. The concern moved from a direct question to an assumption. Still there, just quieter. Your mother stops adding, "Let me know if you need anything," at the end of phone calls. She doesn't say why, she just stops. You let them assume you're fine. You are fine. That's not the strange part. The strange part is how much faster they believed it than you did, like they'd been waiting for permission to stop worrying about you. And $75,000 was the permission slip nobody signed out loud. The second rule at $75,000, people stop asking if you're okay. They start assuming you are and stop checking. Level 3, $250,000. At a family dinner, an uncle asks not how much you make, but what you're doing with it. The question used to be about survival. Now it's about strategy. He leans forward when he asks it the way people lean towards something they've decided is worth their attention. The questions change shape before the relationship does. Nobody treats you like money yet. They just stop treating you like someone who needs help with it. A cousin who used to send you job postings stopped sending them, not because you got a better job, because somewhere along the way helping you stopped looking necessary. A door closes behind you that you didn't know was a door, the one marked, "Needs this explained to them." You're no longer asked to explain a purchase. You're asked to explain a plan. Nobody tells you the door closed. You just notice one day that you're standing on the other side of it, and the people still on the other side seem further away than they used to, even though nobody moved. The third rule at $250,000, nobody asks what you make. They ask what you do with it. Level 4, $500,000. You sit across from a financial advisor who says your first name twice in one sentence. Once as a courtesy, once as a sales technique. You can't tell which is which anymore. Neither can he. He has a folder with your name printed on the tab, and you notice it's the good kind of folder, the kind that doesn't bend. Old friends start prefacing requests with, "I know this is awkward, but..." The awkwardness is new. You didn't create it. The number did. You say yes anyway every time, partly because you can, partly because you're not ready to find out what happens to the friendship the first time you say no. You are good at accumulating. You're not yet good at being seen as someone who has. The skill that got you here isn't the skill anyone's testing you on now. Saving was a private discipline. Being treated like you have money is a public performance, and nobody handed you the script for it. The fourth rule, $500,000, is a door, not a destination. You're good at arriving. You're not yet good at staying. Level 5, $1 million. You cross 7 figures on a Tuesday refreshing an app at 11:40 p.m. in bed. No confetti, no phone call. You close the app and check it again 4 minutes later, like the number might have been a typo. It isn't. You set the phone down on the nightstand and stare at the ceiling for longer than the moment deserves. Nothing visibly changes. Same car, same apartment, same group chat. But people start sensing something they can't name. A waiter holds eye contact half a second longer. A friend stops finishing the sentence. Must be nice to. Conversations that used to end in a punchline now end in a pause, like everyone in the room is recalculating something at once, and nobody wants to be first to say it out loud. About 18% of American households cross this line, roughly 1 in 6. You expected a feeling. What you got was a number on a screen, and the distinct, unglamorous urge to tell absolutely no one, not because it's shameful, but because you don't yet know what it would cost you to be known for it. So you say nothing. You go to work the next morning and answer emails like nothing happened, because as far as anyone watching is concerned, nothing did. The fifth rule, at $1 million, nothing visibly changes, and that's exactly when people start sensing something they can't name. Level 6, $3 million. A college friend calls for the first time in 2 years. Not to catch up. To ask about getting into what you're into. The call lasts 40 minutes. 9 of them are about you. The other 31 are about him, but he keeps circling back like he's hoping the topic changes itself. The favors stop sounding like requests and start sounding like assumptions. You'll probably know someone. You could probably just... Nobody asks permission to assume anymore. You're not offended. You're just aware in a way you weren't before of how often people decide what you're willing to do before they ask you whether you're willing to do it. You look back at $15,000 and feel something close to gratitude. You look toward $10 million and feel something closer to hunger. Standing in the middle of that view is the loneliest place you've stood yet. Too far from where you started to relate to it. Too far from where you're going to belong there either. Old friends think you've changed. New acquaintances assume you always were this. Neither one is talking to the person actually standing here. The sixth rule, at $3 million, the favors stop being requests. They become assumptions. Level 7, $10 million. At a dinner with 8 people, you say 4 sentences the entire night. 3 of them get repeated back to you by someone else like they thought of it first. You don't correct anyone. Correcting them would mean explaining why it mattered, and explaining it would mean admitting you noticed. People don't get closer to you. They get more careful around you. Word choice slows down. Jokes get vetted half a beat before they're told. Distance disguised as politeness. Someone laughs at something that isn't funny, just slightly too early, just slightly too long, checking your face the whole time. Nobody says less to you because they respect you less. They say less because they've started doing the math on what a sentence might cost them. A sentence that lands wrong. A joke that doesn't translate, an opinion that turns out to matter more than they expected it to. So they round their words down before they offer them the way you'd round down a tip in a city you didn't know the customs of yet. The seventh rule, at 10 million people, don't get closer to you. They get more careful around you. Level 8, $25 million. You wear the same jacket you've worn for 6 years to a meeting where everyone else is performing wealth they don't have yet. You're the only one in the room not performing anything, and somehow that's the detail people remember about you afterward. Everyone around you starts performing normal laughter, normal interest, normal disagreement that resolves a little too fast. A 40-minute meeting wraps in 20. Pushback that would have surfaced a year ago stays in someone's head instead. The performance is constant. The performance is the tell. Indifference at this scale looks exactly like respect from the outside. From the inside, it's just distance with better manners. A room full of people agreeing with you slightly faster than they'd agree with anyone else for reasons none of them would admit to out loud. The eighth rule, the higher the net worth, the more normal everyone performs. Performance is the tell. Level 9, $50 million and beyond. Someone asks what you do for work at a party, and you give the short version, the one that doesn't invite follow-up questions. You've practiced this without meaning to. It comes out smooth now the way a lie comes out smooth after the 100th telling, except it isn't a lie. It's just smaller than the truth. Money stops being a topic anyone brings up around you, including you. Both sides edit. Both sides know they're editing. Neither side mentions it. You've become fluent in a silence you never agreed to learn, and so is everyone standing near you. At this point, you're not hiding the number out of fear. You're hiding it out of habit. The habit of $50 million worth of quiet kept up so long, it stopped feeling like a choice and started feeling like a personality trait. People who meet you now assume you've always been this way. You let them. It's easier than explaining the parking lot. The ninth rule at 50 million money stops measuring what you have. It starts measuring what people are willing to pretend they don't notice. Somewhere right now, someone is sitting in a parking lot, engine running AC off, looking at a balance that just crossed $15,000. They put the phone face down on the passenger seat. They don't tell anyone. Not because it's a secret, because there's no one to tell yet who would understand why it matters this much. They think this is about the number. It's not. It's about every quiet adjustment everyone around them will eventually make without ever once being told why. It was never about being seen. It was about being safe, and somewhere along the way, those stopped being the same thing.